Hey, Shred and Shawarma here, and just want to do a quick review on my Segway x260 / sur-ron, and designed by sur-ron. Yeah, it's all sur-ron. In 2021, I've had it. February of 2021 is when I got it. Started riding it, probably April, May. It's got about 1,000 woods miles on it. Some pretty hard miles, no doubt about it. I'd say 3/4 of that is probably pretty hard miles on it for what it is, and it's held up great. Thing I love about this bike from the get-go, definitely not for me, but you can build it. It's like getting your generic little thing and building it into whatever you want. Street bike, road race bike, woods bike, flat track, whatever. Motocross, you've got to deal with some stiff suspension to keep them bottoming out for sure. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. So a couple things since the mod video. There was a few things I wanted to go over. And one of them is the rotor guard, and there it is. I didn't really show that to you on the mods. Really hasn't got that scarred up. Looks like a little scratch on the back. I'm not sure what that's from. And then the other thing is the 219 chain. So I did get the really good go-kart chain. It's holding up pretty well. It needs replacing here pretty soon, but I have had it for an easy couple months, and I'm finding out that the trick is to keep your main chain, your secondary chain pretty tight. That's kind of borderline, I think, right there. And by doing that, you will be putting most of the tension on this chain rather than that chain. If this chain is loose, that chain is what's driving the bike when you're starting out and stuff. So yeah, just keep this chain in where it should be. And I've tested it with suspension down and stuff, and it doesn't really seem to affect the chain that much as far as the tension of it, like some bikes do, especially older bikes. So this bike is amazing. It's the only bike I want. It really is. It does. Of course, I wish I had some a little more power sometimes, and that is like 1.5, maybe 2% tops that I really wish I had that power. The other 98-99% of the time, I am fully happy with the power of this thing. The handleability is just incredible. The way you can flick it around, get over rocks and roots and stuff coming out of switchbacks. You can go 0 to hero in a heartbeat with the torque of this thing, and it really helps. You need to bounce off the seat, put weight on the back seat for those serious grip times where you really need it. Both these tires I have had from day one. They are chunking, so they are in need of replacement after almost 1,000 miles, or right around 1,000 miles of pretty rocky terrain as well. They have held up excellent, and that's fully to do with the weight of the bike, I think, and you're not roosting it all the time. Front tire, yeah, it's just the 21-inch wheel for woods riding is everything. Getting up and over things, the handleability, and the bigger rotor for the braking power. Just that 21-inch wheel for woods riding makes all the difference in the world. Gosh, I don't know what more to say. I didn't really go into detail or show up close my mod for the rear shock, and it was basically it's pretty easy. You know, there is a piece that you take out here, and I just replaced it with the valve, and I just shimmed it. I forgot what I used, but you know, anybody with stuff around will figure it out. But now it's an adjustable shock and no issues at all. The forks, I did rebuild them, and there was hardly any oil left in them at all. So now they're all fully redone and with oil in them, and they work like a dream. A lot of bears out lately, so whenever I see bear poop, I give them a little squawk, but it almost sounds like a distressed goose, so don't know if that's doing any good or not. The battery life has been incredible, and that is a lot to do with having the non-O-ring chain, just a regular roller chain, but you can buy good ones. I've had that thing for months, and just keep it lubed, and it's working great. And that is a good 10 or 15 less rolling resistance, and therefore I think 10-15% more battery range. So I think you'd really notice the difference. Again, the trials tire, I'm a diehard. If you watch my videos, I'm riding with some pretty good guys on 300s and 450s, and I have no problem keeping up with them. And this tire is a big part of it. You just can't get moto tires in a 19. I like the 19-inch rim because it is tall and it goes over stuff better. 17-inch, yeah, you can get it all in meat, but I think this has better rolling, less rolling resistance, so better for battery range. This is my plug-in for my what I call a desert tank, and I strap it right here on the top, and I don't notice it. I honestly don't notice it, and that's how I'm getting the high miles that I'm getting with plenty of percentage left over. So I'm getting this thing really dialed in, and the thing is, like I said, you can make this bike into anything. And it is, I think, just a great all-around bike. The engineering, swing arm hasn't come loose. I have had to tighten suspension parts for sure. Replaced the bushing once, and I don't know that they needed replacing. But the thing is just, it's held up. It's incredible how it's held up, actually. So anyways, I hope this has helped you. Please feel free to ask me any questions at all, and I'll definitely answer them if I can. And I just want to thank all the guys that make the aftermarket parts for these bikes, because that's what makes these bikes. If we didn't have these aftermarket parts, these bikes would be really, you know, I don't want to say crap, but they would fit a very small group of people. But because of all the aftermarket parts, you can make it into anything you want, including a top-notch woods bike, which is what I believe this is. I know I'm faster on this than I was on my KTM 300, and I'm older. I'm like over 60 years old now, and I shred. I think, you know, I mean, I'm not, you know, high-class expert by anything, but definitely high, you know, mid-range to low expert range, and I'm having a ball. And I just had my first crash, darn it, of the year, mountain bike and this thing. So at least I'm keeping it feet up. All right, thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe, like, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, and just to add on, I know I kind of always do this, I want to talk about the simplicity of riding this bike. I think This bike with the BAC 4000, it no longer has the eco mode and the sport mode. So I really, if anybody wants to ride this bike, I gotta let them know that, especially with the low gearing, it'll come right out from underneath you in a heartbeat. But when it's kept with the original controller, I think this is a great beginner bike for a young teenager, and even younger. It depends how big they are. A lady, your lady, I think it's absolutely perfect. And for us older people, it's also perfect because I don't get worn out on this thing like I did riding my 300. I don't get the arm pump. I get a little bit, goes away pretty quick, but I'm just not worn out like I was. And just some people, you know, especially total gas heads, they might think the short wheelbase is a problem. It's not. It's actually it's better. You get around the corner so much faster. The switchbacks, and Lord knows up here in North Idaho, we got some gnarly switchbacks. I mean, steep and tight. The kind that when you got to go around a right-hand switchback going downhill and your foot brake is all you have. I used to kill my motor on my KTM, put it in first gear, and just release my clutch as a brake going around it. There is no, I mean, you got to put your foot down. This thing, it's just amazing, the handleability in that kind of stuff. And so where you might think it's bad is high speed, and especially downhill, and rocky, rooty, whatever, stuff that's going to throw you off balance. You would think that this thing would start tank slapping you. I've never had a tank slap. Never. It might have to do with the weight. I have no idea. I've never had tank slap. And I charge the downhills. I charge them. And actually, I ride this bike like, I mean, when I'm by myself, I kind of, especially in BFE, I really kind of got to watch out, especially when you're seeing bear poop on the trail. And I don't carry a gun. Might starting to again, I don't know. The last time, yeah, a lot of bear sign. But when I'm with other people, I'll charge them, and when I come into like a route section that's going to another route section, I'll jump into it. And I trust my front end, I trust the bike. And that is a great feeling when you can trust a bike. And it's just, what can I say? It's an amazing bike. I have absolutely no regrets, and I would absolutely do it all over again. There's just no doubt about it. So, and there's a lot of videos out there of these things being made just to drag strip, road race. Haven't seen a whole lot of flat track, but I would think you can totally do it, you know, and fit in the 100 class or 150. So much, city bike, so much you can do with these things. Just build them how you want them. And this is my woods bike, and I love it. Anyways, feet's up, and we'll get at you next time.